Designer note, subject 9. Casio G-Shock GLS-5600L-4ER. What is it like to drive a Ferrari? To most peasants and bystanders like us, it is a mere dream, a fantasy that we can touch, smell, or much at least see one in the wild. For the privileged few, however, they will tell you that its unmatched performance, style, and brand cachet is well worth the astronomical price for something with 4 wheels that will take you from point A to point B. Here's why the G-Shock GLS-5600L-4ER can deliver the same experience as driving a Ferrari. Well, sort of. The very first thing that captures your attention is the bright red color of the bezel and watch strap. Capturing your attention is rather of an understatement, really, since it's more like grab you by the face, shouts G-Shock at you, and then walks off with your gaze firmly affixed to its presence. This presence is intentional, much like how a red Italian sports car intentionally kept its signature red coat. Casio intended for this red G-Shock to stand out against a lighter backdrop, such as snow or sand. Aside from the wrist presence, the dimensions are pretty much identical to all G-Shock squares in the 5600 series. It has a case width of 47mm, case height of 18mm, and 52mm from lug tip to lug tip. It also uses the pass-through lug adapters that accommodates the fancy leather strap. These adapters stoop down to the curves of your wrist, making for a very comfortable wear. The strap will add a bit more height to the watch though, since it sits in between the watch and your wrist. Under the watch, you will find a stamped case back, along with the usual serial numbers and markings for the watch. Nothing special to look at, and you will need to remove the strap to take a peek. The watch case and lug adapters are finished in this glossy resin compound that is similar to many glossy finished G-Shocks. This is where the common and typical ends though. Everything else about this watch is meant to garner head turns and start conversations. The strap is unlike any other seen from the G-Shock line. The red patent leather feels very high quality and amazingly has minimal creasing. Even after a decade, it has not faded its color nor lost its shine. Under the patent leather is a soft rubber lining. Like the interior of a modern Ferrari, this leather strap is carefully crafted. One could even wonder how Casio could offer this watch at under $200 back in the time. This kind of stitching is rarely found even on sub $500 watches. Even each hole is surrounded with metal rings. The keeper is made of the same patent leather, and the buckle is thicker and wider than your usual Casio buckle. Since this is a straight strap with no tapering, it will appear bulkier on your wrist. The engine of this watch packs an unconventional movement. Casio housed the 3178 module in this timepiece, which is built to run even at -20 degrees Celsius. Not only is this G-Shock built tough, it could also run happily in sub-zero conditions, where ordinary quartz movements would simply freeze under pressure, all puns intended. The display has some unique distinguishable features. The running seconds graph at the middle takes up much of the visual interest with its chrome plating and 10-piece arrow panels. It is a bit too decorated, however, to the point that you cannot see the running seconds at all while in daylight. This is compounded by the fact that this is a negative display or reverse display module. Instead of the digits being blacked out, it's the digits that's clear. Legibility is a definite weak point. For those with healthy eyes, there are smaller markers that indicate functions absent in other 5600 modules. There's a flash indicator below the graph. separate indicators for snooze and signal and alarm features, and no need to cycle through the features to see if they are activated. The same goes for the mute and EL light. The light is pretty bright under low light conditions. It even has the auto light feature when the watch is tilted at a 48-degree angle. Like most exotic cars, not everything in this watch is built with comfort nor economy in mind. The strap is nice, and you can even swap it out with another strap. But when you're trying to install back the padded leather, that glossy surface tends to grip the lug pass-through, making this an inconvenient reinstall. The same goes for the ring keeper. It tends to grip your skin easily. Noticeably, the biggest complaint about this watch is its readability in the daytime. It is harder to read a negative display compared to a conventional LCD watch face. Add the glare of the bare mineral crystal, and you are left with a watch that takes a split second longer to read the time. Is it impractical? Maybe. It begs the question to those who know though. If quartz watches force the mechanical watches to the luxury or jewelry niche, with its reliability, accuracy, and affordability, where does this G-Shock fit in if you can't tell the time efficiently enough? Well, why do people want a Ferrari? Not because it can bring them from point A to point B, but it's because you can drive or drive around with something that others don't have. It just so happens that this GLS-5600L won't cost you a literal arm or leg, or both. It won't cost you a whole new car just to service this engine. It will cost you that extra split second though to tell the time. If you can live with that, you can own one of these rare G-Shocks that's not in production anymore. In a perfect world, you can have both an exotic car and an exotic wristwatch driving along the Swiss Alps or sandy coastline. With the G-Shock GLS-5600L, you're at least halfway there.